All right, and welcome everyone to Session 10, the season finale of Season 1 of Star Trek Valhalla, a Star Trek Adventures actual play. I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to be here. Super excited to see all my friends. We had a little bit of a scare, but good news is Chewbacca's still alive. I was just worried because usually you're pretty
Chief
communicative, and it was like 7:58, and I'm like, is he okay? Like, I'm just glad you're okay.
chief engineers are never late. We arrive precisely when we intend to.
Absolutely brilliant and wonderful, and I appreciate that. We also have a new overlay. Thank you, Sidereal Day. I appreciate that. I got some feedback from the community that my overlays, our overlays were too overlay-y, and we need bigger cameras, maybe a little bit more uniformity, and I like it. I ran this same overlay for Star Trek Magmel, which is a lot of fun, which is kind of a sister series, I would say, to Star Trek Valhalla. There's going to be some crossovers, maybe some side characters jumping back and forth. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, as I always say, we're going to go around the table. We're going to have everyone introduce themselves. Then we're going to dive right into the season finale, Session 10, Episode 10 of Star Trek Valhalla. Let's start with Brian. We'll go to Sidereal Day, Charles Warren, Symbol, and then Chewbacca. And then we'll get this party started, as it were. Take it away, Captain.
Hello, I am Brian. I am at Mind Over Brian on both Twitter and on Twitch, although on Twitch I spell it with a zero. And I am playing Captain Asba Traso, our not Bajorn, every time, our Betazoid captain who has forsworn his telepathic powers and whose ship is currently in a little bit of trouble.
Accurate. Accurate statement. I like it. I like it.
Right. Hello, I'm Sidereal Day, and I play Commander Ajay Shahira, the Bajoran Chief Medical Officer and First Officer.
Charles.
Is it? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So, my name's Charles. I play Ensign Zed, our Ferengi Chief of Security and Operations Officer, who is fresh out of the academy.
Hello, hello. I'm Symbol. I play the science officer of the Ragnar, Lieutenant Paris.
And I'm Drew. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Krev Glosh, the Tellarite Chief Engineer and true master of this ship.
I am the true master of this vessel. And of course, I am Dare Wolf, the game master. And I'm excited to be here. I'm a little nervous because I want this to have a second season, but I don't know. We're going to see what happens here. Because when we last left off, our intrepid crew of the Ragnar, things were...
Intrepid, get it?
They were intrepid. Yeah, they were very, very intense. There was a black hole, there was a white hole, there was a strange, some sort of religious ceremony. They were trying to summon the Eva Cole, whatever that means. And it was, well, I think a certain ensign threw a certain holy artifact of some sort to the ground. It smashed. There was a black hole. There was an ejection of the warp core. It was a whole thing. But we're actually going to open our first scene, and I haven't forgotten about you, Brian. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. We're gonna open our first scene, and we see the Ragnar itself just listing ever so slightly to the side. A couple of small fires appear to be venting out into space quickly. They quickly dissipate, seeing as there is no atmosphere, but you can see these kind of burning, holes in the Ragnar as it almost dimly starts to just ever so slightly just list through space. You can tell it's moving just ever so slightly by the view of the stars behind it, but it's just very slowly moving. And you see around it just a massive amount of debris. And this debris appears to be made of the same substances that you saw from the Kronos station. And there is just this massive debris field around. But as we zoom into deck one, we see a very dilapidated, very, very damaged bridge. We see several crew members lying on the deck, the floor of the bridge. And then we see the captain. And Captain, you do have our opening log, so I'd like to give you a moment to provide us with that opening log as we then dive into this. Uh-oh.
Oh, yes,
Oh.
disheveled.
He's getting into character. I love it.
It's
beautiful.
Captain's log, Stardate unknown. The Ragnar is adrift, and we're not sure how long it's been. Main power is down, as is the chronometer, and only minimal power has been restored to essential systems. Life support, inertial dampeners, gravity plating, and internal sensors. I have some junior officers looking into some means of having more than the standard SOS buoy for communications, but thus far, no luck. I'm unable to confirm whether we were able to retrieve my senior staff from Chrono Station in time, and the general order to shelter in place for the moment to avoid overstressing ship systems means I may not find out until help arrives. Of course, medical teams are moving through the ship to ensure that no one is injured too badly, and so far we've been lucky, but I'm unused to feeling so helpless while in command of a starship, and I must admit I do not enjoy the feeling. After the spontaneous creation of a black hole by Chrono Station and the seeming emergence of a starship thought to be lost from that black hole, we were unable even to confirm whether the ship existed or whether it was in fact able to escape the event horizon of the phenomena. What little we have been able to glean is not good. Unexplained flora have begun to sprout all over the ship, and the environmental controls on those decks are either causing or cooperating with these, meaning some decks are turning into damp jungles and fetid rainforests. There was ever a time I wished I still had access to my telepathic powers. This would be it. I have, however, reviewed the actions that landed us in this predicament, and I can't help but feel a sense of pride. My crew performed admirably, and their quick thinking is the reason any of us are still here to be rescued. Some of Krev's engineers have already submitted a plan to lash all the shuttles together to provide the Ragnar with more power from their warp engines, but I'm hesitant to dismantle our only current warp-capable vessels just so that we can have hot showers back, no matter how badly some of us might need one.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You may have one momentum for that glorious opening log. You know what? We're going to make it two, because I think y'all are going to need it. And as we zoom out from that kind of close-up of the captain giving his personal log as he brushes his hair back and attempts to somewhat put himself together, we zoom over to the bridge of the Ragnar, where we see there are the wires, there are panels that have been blown off, there are a couple of crew members that have been tossed all around the bridge onto the floor. The young comm officer, the pilot of the Ragnar, is currently lying on the floor, where a young Mini Minerva, she is next to him, attempting to provide some sort of first aid to him. The science ensign is still trying to get a location of where you all have ended up. And I'm curious, Captain, what are your orders? What are you doing in this moment as you complete your log?
Tactical status.
Sir, weapons are down, shields are down, life support is at 65%. Inertial dampeners are iffy. Some decks have gravity, some decks don't. Sir, and he just starts to get panicky and can't really, starts to panic.
Calm down. We're all right. As long as life support's still up and the gravity plating's still going, we should be fine. Run a quick hull status.
Hull integrity is at 47%, sir.
Now, can you check that my display is right? I'm showing 2 breaches.
Goes around. 2 breaches, sir, on decks 4 and decks 13.
Okay. Do we have enough power to initiate a force field to prevent any more atmosphere from venting?
Attempting, sir. And as he does so, you watch as you can hear it first. You hear as his console begins to get maybe a little bit loud. And a second later, you hear the telltale as his console explodes, sending him soaring back into the wall, where she slumps.
Damn it! Captain will throw himself over that railing and run back there to check on her.
Beautiful. She's injured. She'll be all right, but she is injured in this moment. And I think that's a great moment to pivot away from the bridge, just for this time being, all the way down to main engineering. Main engineering, where we see a certain Lieutenant Commander Krev. And if I recall, Lieutenant Commander Krev, you were at a certain religious ceremony, and you were taking part in a certain, I guess, summoning, we could call it, of a certain Eva Cole. And the last thing I believe you remember was being sucked into a black hole. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Wasn't it the white hole?
Yeah, the white hole. I said black hole. I meant white hole. Forgive me. But yeah, you got sucked into a white hole. Well, it was a white hole, and then Krev cracked the thing, and it became a black hole, and then everyone got sucked in. That's what happened. That's
Or
right.
wasn't it Zed that cracked it,
That's what
or
I'm saying.
Paris
Zed
that
did
cracked it?
Zed cracked
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Krev.
But then Commander Ajay and a bunch of other folks got sucked into the hole. So that's the last thing you remember. But as you come to, your ears are ringing, like this the most horrible tinnitus that you've ever experienced. And as you open your eyes to begin to adjust the lights, you see that you are obviously in main engineering. You recognize this is your home aboard the vessel, as it were, aboard the Ragnar. But it is... I love that. That's beautiful. I love the immersion today. You guys are doing great. But as you open your eyes and they adjust, you see the emergency running lights around. You look over to kind of the main engineering's console, where you see Bradish, Petty Officer First Class Andrea Bradish. But she has an expression on her face that seems out of character for her. She looks almost a little confused as to where she is, and is kind of has that childlike wonderment where she's taking in everything around her as though it is for the first time. You see no one else inside main engineering other than her, and I'm curious, Lieutenant Commander Krev, what do you?
Is the warp core there?
It is not.
Rev stares at Bronson and then up at the missing warp core, and then over to Bronson, then over to the missing warp core, and he just kind of staggers towards her. And when he draws up to the panel, he just he just stares at the core and says, what happened to my engine?
What is an engine? Her voice is not her own.
He looks up at her. The ensign? Or
her eyes, which
not
are
ensign.
Normally a kind of brownish,
PO.
kind of a hazel looking color, they
Mhm.
are black, kind of pure black voids, similar to the way in which I've described certain colors of black boxes. And she again continues to look around, but as you attempt to explain what an engine is, what is that, what is this, she then looks over to you, and you know that old expression, I stared into the void and it stared back at me. You feel like the void is staring back at you. It's slightly unnerving. It's a little unsettling.
He kind of takes her by the shoulder. He's good, like half a foot shorter than her. Like kind of takes her by the shoulders and says, "What have you done with Bronson? And where are my engines?"
Who is Bronson? What is engine? Where are we?
He reaches down. Does he have a tricorder? Does he have his tricorder on him?
You know what? Yes. Why not?
He pulls out the tricorder and starts scanning.
Give me a control science, difficulty of 4.
Control science. I am going to use my I'm going to use a momentum for a third die. I would like to use my focus of improvisation for trying to figure out what's going on. And I am using my my special magic tricorder that we determined that I have, which is, what is that? I can't remember what advantage it had given me.
Doesn't it allow you a reroll? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so.
Very good.
Okay, I'll mark that down. Okay, you said control and
Well, let me ask you this. Let's backtrack
Yeah.
there. What are you trying to do? What are you attempting to garner from this check?
what is wrong with her?
Insight.
Like what
So it's going to be an insight medicine then.
medicine?
Yeah.
Cancel. Let's go back to start with insight. And medicine, submit. 3d20, submit, focus, yes. Submit, and I will re-roll the 0.
Hope for that one.
Haha!
A
Ha,
complication. A complication. God, I love dice. I love role-playing games. So you attempt to scan Bronson, and you get your tricorder out, you open it, you hear the as you're scanning her. Bronson looks down at the device. Her expression turns to one of perhaps fear or worry, and with a very swift motion, smacks your hand, smacking the device out of it. You feel your wrist. It's either broken or it is just severely sprained, and you are kind of spun around on your heel, stumbling back a few paces. Why? What is this? Where have you brought us? Why am I? Why are we? Where is this? Who are you? What is happening? And Bronson begins to become more and more angry, more and more upset. Those black voids where her eyes should be, you see these kind of trickles of what look like almost veins start to kind of pool out and start to kind of like coalesce up and around the skin on her cheek and her brow and her expression. You see her kind of like look angrier and angrier.
Okay. Let's all just take a deep breath here. I am Lieutenant Commander Krev. You are in the engine room of the Federation starship Ragnar. I don't know how you got here. I'm not entirely sure how I got here. Last thing I knew, I was on the station participating in some weird freaky deaky ceremony where I got sucked into a black hole.
At the mention of Federation, and you get to your black hole statement, her lip curls, almost like an angry dog, and she lets out a very low but audible growling noise. Federation. Just like the one. Just like the Eva Cole. If you are Federation, then you are enemy. You are enemy of the Azels.
Of the who now?
She said Azels. AZ''ELS.
The Azels. I've never heard of this, have I?
No.
Look, The Federation, we're not enemies of anyone. There's some people that don't like us, but we don't go out and make enemies, especially of people we've never heard of.
Where is Eva Cole?
The last we heard of the Eva Cole was we saw it like coming out of the singularity at the ship, but I wouldn't have even seen that, right?
You would not have.
Eva Cole's the lady. Shivani Manne is the ship.
Yeah.
That's right. No idea. I don't even know what a Eva Cole is.
Where is Eva? And as she says that, her left hand comes down, smashing the console. And you watch as this kind of black, almost looks like ink kind of energy flows out onto the console, and the console starts to kind of short out. And those kind of veiny like protrusions coming out from her eyes are starting to kind of coalesce almost like a bandana around her face. And she's slowly marching forward towards you.
1 second. Let me see if I can find you some help. Crev to bridge.
Bridge, there is a very staticky but a stable connection, and you hear Karev reaching out to you.
Crev to bridge. I need help down in main engineering. Bronson has been taken over by the Nacelles, apparently, either an individual or a group consciousness. I don't know. It's freaky. She broke my arm, and apparently she is not happy with the Federation. They're asking for the Yiva something or other. I don't even know what's going on. Cap, where the hell is my engine?
Ops, do we have power for transport?
No, sir.
Do we have power for a stasis field?
Possibly, sir, but I'd have to draw it from life support.
Bridge to Krev, get out of there. We got a really temporary measure here. Initiate the stasis field.
And
Hey.
as the alien, presuming to be Bronson, perhaps taking over Bronson, takes another step forward, it hits a force field. There is that telltale. You see the blue kind of glow, sparkle magic, as it were, and this woman, this creature that is either Bronson or inhabiting Bronson, starts to roar. And I want you to imagine, have you ever heard when they do the audio like sounds from space, and you can kind of like hear stars, you know what I mean? They do the what's the stereo, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like that roaring sound when they're listening to deep space. You hear that like background noise, that roaring sound. Yeah, that's what this sounds like, and it's deafening. But as Krev quickly runs out of main engineering,
Yeah, Krev is peacing out.
we are going to, I think that's a great moment to pivot over to a certain deck with a certain Ensign Zed and a certain Lieutenant Paris, who, when we last left off, those intrepid adventurers, they had rounded a corner. A certain Zed, I think, had a sword in his hand, if I remember correctly. That was pretty great.
Yes.
And you saw a certain red-headed woman who may look familiar if you've caught the season premiere of Star Trek Magmal. But that being said, she had said to you, there's no time. We've got to save him.
And I think Zed had told her to step away from the panel, or was that before she
And
said
then
that?
she had drawn a phaser and pointed
That's
it at
right.
you.
Right.
And so we open our scene. Obligatory self-promo. You're gosh darn tootin', Captain Treso. Hashtag Star Trek Adventures. Let's go. But she drew a phaser, pointed it at you. Stand down, Ensign. This doesn't concern you.
I put my arm over Zed's weapon, try to push it down, and say, "Stand down, Ensign. How can we help, Captain?"
you could stay out of my way.
There is no time for what?
For what? Everything. Life itself. This is the only way. This is the only way I can save him. The only way I can save him. The only way. Look, I'm sorry.
Let us help, Captain.
But sacrifices have to be made.
What sort of sacrifice?
A life for a life.
Zed will look at Paris and say, "But then I'm afraid, Captain, we cannot allow that."
And she says, "You've said that every time. Why should I be surprised?" She will draw her phaser and attempt to fire at you, but I'm going to give you a chance to respond.
I try to shove him out of the way.
Oh, I love it. All right,
Oh,
so we're going to do a
nice,
quick roll
nice.
here. It's going to be like kind of a combat roll.
Uh-huh.
So Eva Cole, the captain here, is going to... She is going to draw her phaser, but I'm going to allow Lieutenant Paris. Do you want to just throw yourself in front of Ensign Zed and attempt to take the hit? Or do you want to try to push both of yourselves out of the way?
It's a push. It's
just to take the hit is going to be a difficulty 2. To shove both of you out of the way is going to be a difficulty 4.
Can Zed assist at all?
Absolutely. Either check.
it's going to be fitness security as well, right?
You're absolutely darn tootin'.
Or would it be daring?
Could be daring. I'll take daring. Whichever is better for you.
Daring is a lot better, and yes, it is a shove. I will use my determination with once at Paris, always at Paris, and to really try and save Zed in here.
I love that. Are you going to try to save you both? So you're trying to like tackle him out of the way so you both don't get hit. Because that's 2 successes if you use a determination, which means you'd still roll 2 die and only need to get 2 more successes to save you both.
And can I use my focus of hand phasers since
Yeah, there we go. Let's get after it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, you're not technically using it, but you know how they work. So you're like, well, at this angle, and she's pointing kind of offhandedly. If I dive down at about 45 degrees, she won't hit me. I like that.
Right. And you know what? I will use the that remaining momentum.
I love it.
You'll need a momentum and a threat. So heads up, you're spending a threat.
All right, threat it is.
Just gonna pocket that threat for later. Don't worry, we got plenty of time.
So that's 3.
Oh, there it is.
Hey!
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So
5.
you watch as the captain, the red-haired captain, draws the phaser. Simultaneously, she presses a button on this panel. The phaser goes off, and as it lances past, you can feel the kind of heat just on the nape of your neck. It misses you by a snail's hair, but you tackle Zed and yourself over to the corner, just behind this kind of wall right here. It strikes the panel behind you, disintegrating it. It was set to kill, like maximum strength. It was aggressive. And as it does so, you watch as some of these vines and some of these kind of like plant-like things start to burn, and the whole ship seems to kind of shudder and maneuver. And from around the corner, you hear, "What? He never saves him. Shit, shit, it's all broken. Shit, shit!" And
Captain, let us help. That's great.
yeah. And you hear the ship start to kind of shake. On the bridge, the ship starts to shake again. And not as though it's like as though something is inside. Have you ever seen a cat inside of like a bag? Or like a cat that like gets itself stuck in a paper bag? That's what it seems like. It's like jittering and shaking back and forth and left and right. And things are getting a little crazy. But with that being said, as is my traditional statement, Ensign Zed and Lieutenant Paris, you've dived to the ground. What do you do next?
Zed would like to. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So Zed still has the sword.
Yeah.
So I think Zed would try to spring up to his knees and throw the sword at the captain.
I love that. You spring up to your
He's-
knees, in a swift motion, you draw the sword, you go to throw it. As
Oh,
you
I'm
get up
tackling you.
around the corner, shoving Paris off, you look. The captain is not there, but you can hear sloshy footsteps from down the corridor. That's kind of mid-center of the ship, as though she is running towards the
Oh.
port side of the vessel.
Stop,
It sounds
Ted.
like-
Stop.
It sounds like she's running towards the port side of the vessel.
Yes. Just stop trying to attack her. You have to help her.
I was hoping I wasn't actually trying to hit her. I was trying to distract her in time to, well, of course you're right.
We have to help her.
But help her kill someone in order to save someone?
She's here to try to save her son, Zed. Don't you see it? Don't you understand?
Yes, but I know. I don't understand.
Come on. They start running. Where
So
she
you
went.
guys, are you running towards the direction that she disappeared?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So here's what's funny. You guys run that way. You go down the hallway. You come back around, and you find her just inside of the captain's quarters. And she has used the phaser to burn away some of those vines, and is almost with a kind of reverence. She has placed her hand on the side of this egg-like cocoon with all the like greeny veininess, the like browns and whatnot, and she has a tricorder in her right hand. Her phaser is now on her hip, and she is taking readings of this cocoon. What do you guys do?
We can't
I
allow
start
her to
walking up
save-
slowly
we cannot
between
allow-
myself and Zed. Arms in front. Captain, please let us help.
You can't help me. I've always had to do it myself. Every time I have to do it myself. If you try to help, it all breaks. Everything breaks.
I don't believe that. There's a way we can do this.
Oh, Paris. Always, always thinking there's a way. But there never has been, and there never will. This is the only way.
Then what is this?
The Ragnar. The Ragnar for my son.
Yeah, Zed's face is in shock, and he's looking at Paris and kind of going like,
What do you
he's got
mean
the expression
the
like
Ragnar for
we
her?
can't let
for
it
her
all
son?
out.
And I think that's a great moment to pivot away from this scene, as is tradition. And we are going to open to a bit of a strange kind of scene here. That, well, it's very white. It is as though you, well, good doctor, first officer, it is as though you were standing in a kind of white plane of existence. It's quiet. There's no breeze. There's no smells. There's no sight. There's no sounds. It's just white. And a few paces off from you, it's hard to tell distance because you have no point of reference, but it seems close by on this white surface field. You see a tiny black box. Your head hurts. Your ears are ringing. The last thing you remember, Commander Ajay, was being pulled up and into this white turned black hole. It was a bit chaotic.
Hello?
The black box kind of like shakes a little bit, as though there's something inside, similar to the way in which I described a certain starship, as though there is a kitty cat stuck inside a bag. It just kind of shakes.
I will try moving closer so I can touch the box, I guess.
So you're gonna walk up and touch the box, is that right?
No,
I'm just
but I'd
curious,
like
do
to
you
get...
have a backup character? No, I'm just kidding. That's a terrible question. That's terrible. I'm just kidding.
No,
You absolutely
I
can
guess
get up
I'd
close to
rather...
the box. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to I probably only have a medical tricorder on me if I even still have it.
You tell
Am
me.
I wearing the clothes that I changed into for the religious ceremony?
No, you're back in your normal Starfleet clothing.
Okay. Then I would like to pull out my medical tricorder and try to scan this thing.
You do so.
I don't really have any other options.
You do so. Give me a control and medicine. Difficulty of 0.
I'm guessing I don't have an applicable focus this time.
I don't know. Tell me what your focuses are.
The only ones I can think of that might work are triage or composure.
I'm going to go with
But I've
composure.
also-
It's a little weird
Okay.
that you're at. I'm going to allow it. I like it. Let's get you guys some momentum. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. It's wonderful. That is a success. With difficulty 0, it gains you 1 momentum. As you scan the box, you are picking up... Well, it's a bit strange. There is a life form inside of the box. You can tell because you're picking up what seems to be a heartbeat. You're picking up what seems to be brain activity, but it's smoky. That's the best way I can describe it to you. It seems smoky. As you complete your scan, go ahead, please.
Does the heartbeat match the one that we've heard before on the
Oh,
ship?
Mimi, look at you. Look at you, Commander Ajay, putting 2 and 2 together. It absolutely does. It is the same rhythm. It is the same tone. It is the exact same heartbeat. And because I was hoping someone would pick up on that, namely you hear it. It's very slow, thump, 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 thump. And it is simultaneously that each and every other crew member of the command staff, all of you, as Commander Ajay is in her little scene here, all of you hear this heartbeat at the same time. It's a little off-putting it for a moment, but you all hear it. And just that's going to be our ambience in the background. But as you do this, you hear it, you watch as a kind of black smoky mist begins to emerge from the 4 corners and coalesce into an almost female-like visage with long flowing black hair, long flowing what almost appears to be a dress-like form, and it coalesces just as you see before you, and it's just kind of like appearing from the box. You are not the one I expected.
Who did you expect then?
The one that has come many times before, seeking our aid to save one they love.
That doesn't sound like anyone on my ship. But I'm also not certain how I got to wherever here is.
You were a part of the ceremony to open the portal, were you not?
I was.
Why did you choose to participate? You did not intend to come to this place, to this point in time and space.
I didn't realize this was what would happen. I was given to understand that someone might come through to that place. Not that I would travel to you.
Now that you are here, then, what is your desire?
My desire. In what way?
You watch the smoke just kind of wavers back and forth. It gives no additional explanation. It just watches you. And unlike the kind of black eyes that I described Bronson having with Lieutenant Commander Krev, her eyes are these kind of white voids. These white voids that almost seem to be filling the space around you. Like that is where the whiteness of this space is coming from.
You said normally it's someone else. If that person keeps coming back, then I don't think you can actually give me what I want, because you can't give them what they want.
Tilts its head from left to right as though it's considering the statement.
You are like the prophets, but different, and they cannot affect the world. They can only affect us. You are the same.
A slow shake of the head. Finally, one who does understand.
Then, what will it take for you to send me back?
One life for another.
I don't have any lives to trade. Just my own. And it's not yours for the taking.
Ooh, the black, smoky, shadowy monster person lady gets a little bit bigger, and the box begins to shake a little bit more intensely. And it the light of this white space starts to get a little bit darker, a little bit darker, and a little bit darker. But I think that's a great moment to roll back over to the captain. And
Not pivot away.
Captain, we're gonna roll on over. Yeah. You guys have made me self-conscious about all the little transitions I use. In a good way. It's good. But, good captain, we are back on the bridge. Lieutenant Commander Krev, you have just made your way back up to the bridge. Took some time, took some doing. But you actually do make your way back up to the bridge, and I'm curious, what's the conversation? What are you guys doing in this moment?
I guess I would get out of the turbo lift to
Jeffrey's
the,
tube. We don't have power
yeah.
for turbo lifts.
That's right. Yeah. He crawls like on his back, like scooting along out of the out of the Jeffrey's tube with like his one arm kind of slinged up. He's like ripped his uniform. He just has like the tank top undershirt on. Very hairy, just tufts of like boar like fur like sticking out all over the place. And his arms just kind of like, you know, tied up into his chest, and he comes like scooting out of the Jeffrey's tube, and he's just like looks around the bridge. He's like, it's a shithole in here, Cap. What did you guys do to my ship?
We just escaped a black hole with it. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, the black hole. That was not my fault.
I hope not. Ensign Crusher, you want to take a look at the Lieutenant Commander's arm, please?
Of course, Captain. And the bridge, the pilot of the vessel, is actually conscious again, is taking his seat. Just going to head over and takes out a medical tricorder, does some scans. Minor fracture in the right hand. If we can get him down to medical, it'd be an easy fix.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. So Petty Officer oh god damn it, I forgot her name.
Minerva, sir.
No, the one in
Bronson.
Oh,
Bronson, there we go. Sorry, thanks. So yeah, Bronson is taken over by some kind of weird, freaky alien presence. Hey, her eyes are glowing with the black that's just like our favorite piece of equipment downstairs.
Computer confirm location of. Oh no, the computer's down. Damn it. Shit. Well, I'm glad we just used the stasis field and I didn't vent the compartment after you left. I was thinking about it. Well, Krev, you have the bridge. I'm gonna take the engineer over here, and we're gonna go down to the cloaking device and see what's going on there.
Yeah,
Try not to-
honestly, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'll just stay here.
Also, I do
And-
not want to wait for you to climb through the tubes again.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, Cap.
so if I understand correctly, the two of you are going to be heading down to the
Down to
Cloaking
Goblin
room.
Town.
No, me and Frank Moran.
All right. So I'd like to follow you two down to the cloaking room, where you get to the door, the hallway. The door is actually open. Normally it's closed, but it's open. And there is a kind of hissing noise coming from inside the cloaking room. And as we zoom in, you see the two of you standing just outside of the cloaking room. And I'd like to know what the game plan is. What are you guys going to do here as you look inside?
What's the hissing?
So you notice that the dome that encompasses this cloaking device is kind of white, pure white looking dome with those black cords coming out of it. You notice that that dome appears to be cracked. It appears to be damaged. And there is a kind of black kind of mist that is emanating out and quickly evaporating.
Ah, damn it. Moran, can we set up any kind of containment field here?
You're asking who?
Moran, the ensign that I brought with me that isn't Trev.
That isn't
Oh, I
Krev,
thought Krev
because
was
Krev
coming
is
with you.
in
I'm
charge.
sorry.
No,
My bad.
Krev is in charge of the ship.
My bad.
Yeah, I put him in command of the ship.
Excellent. All right, Moran.
At least the bridge.
Got it. All right, cool, Moran. Actually, sir, I think I could. I could likely take the power supply from the device itself and reroute it into creating a kind of stasis field around it.
Do it.
Acknowledged. And he's going to walk over, gets to the computer, starts to plug some buttons. Commander Ajay, you
Yes.
watch as this kind of black, smoky creature in front of you appears to be hitting the edge of this white room that you find yourself in. And you watch as it seems to be escaping through tiny cracks in the walls that you are now seeing. A moment later, those tiny cracks, you see a kind of telltale bluish glow, and you would recognize it as a force field.
Cool.
And then we go out, and he says, "Stasis field up, sir." The device, this white boxed thing that you see here, it shakes and groans as though there is something inside trying to get out.
Ensign, what do the readings indicate about the device?
Say again? You cut off. I cut off.
What are your
you.
readings? What do your readings indicate about this device?
This device? Let's see here, sir. I'm reading. That can't be right. Sir, I'm picking up. Oh, I'm picking up 2 life signs inside of the dome. That can't be right. Sir, one of them appears to be Commander Ajay.
What?
I think with
Okay.
that what, that's a great moment to pivot away. No, they were. Because this is fun. All right, we're going to go back over to the deck where we are on deck 3, the officer's deck. And the red-haired captain has just made mention that there is a sacrifice that must be made to, well, to save a life. The crew of the Ragnar for a life is the statement that's been made. I leave the scene to Ensign Zed and Lieutenant Paris.
It's Zed would look at Paris for a moment and give him a look like, we can't
Oh,
allow
yeah.
this to happen. And then
We
he's
both
gonna,
have the same look.
yeah. Then he's gonna look back at the captain. He's gonna say, Captain, you plan to kill everyone aboard the Ragnar in order to save your son? What will you tell your son when he comes of age? How will he feel that you sacrificed hundreds of lives so that he may live?
He won't ever have to know.
But you will, Captain.
And that is the sacrifice of a mother's love for their child.
Tap the communicator. Paris to bridge.
Ah, staticky, but stable connection arrives on the bridge. And Lieutenant Commander Krev, you hear Lieutenant Paris.
Paris to bridge.
Bridge here. What's up?
Commander, we've got a situation here. I have Captain Cole here, and I think she tends to sacrifice our ship to revive her son.
Wait, Captain who?
Captain of the Shivani Manne, the Captain Eva Cole, if I remember correctly.
Oh God.
The young Luck's mother.
Yeah. The one
Wait,
that the crazy alien in the engine room is asking for.
Wait, what?
You might want to talk to the captain.
Where's the captain?
He's heading down to the engine room. Let's get him in on this. Bridge to captain.
Staticky, but stable connection.
Tracer here.
We've found the woman the alien was looking for. Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Captain, this is Paris. I'm with Zed. We are in front of Captain Cole in your quarters. I think she's trying to resurrect her son somehow. It's really weird, sir. But she intends to sacrifice the ship. I don't know exactly how.
My ship?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell her to stand down.
We have.
Wait, you're in my quarters? All right, I'll be there soon. Moran, you're okay here, yeah?
Oh yeah. Fine, Captain. Should I be trying to get the first officer out of the dome thing? I don't.
Yeah, if you can get emergency powers to transporter room 1, there should
Yeah.
be a device in there that'll help you get both life forms out. Try to get them both out. I don't want to leave anybody inside that.
Yeah, no,
device.
absolutely. I can do that, sir. And the ensign.
All right, if you need to drop gravity plating from decks 15 through 12.
Watch
That should get you enough power.
Watch as a couple of officers whoa, start floating. That'd be good. So I love it. So the captain is going to be running up to deck 3 to go meet with.
I'm gonna hit the armory first.
At the armory, I love that. I'd like to go back inside, as we've come to realize, inside of the dome, with a certain Commander Ajay and a certain black smoky entity, who it's hard to tell because they're, they don't really have a face. It's just kind of this black void, but you can tell the eyes have narrowed and they look angry in this moment. Trapped in a cage. I wish only for freedom, and I will give you what you want for freedom. And if you won't take it, then I will take it from you.
We just went over this. You can't give me what I want.
That kind of growling noise, very reminiscent of the other creature, that sound from like space when you're listening to like space sounds, as it were, that's just a kind of noise emanates out. And the creature again kind of encompasses the whole room. The room goes dark, but you feel nothing. You feel nothing. It is, you can tell, Commander Ajay, it is a song and a dance, though the creature looks massive, though this species looks terrifying in this moment. As it rushes towards you, it stops just an inch in front of your face, and you can tell, I think you're picking up on it, that it can't do shit against you. But it roars in your face.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stare it right back.
Give me a presence and command. Difficulty of 2.
I'm gonna spend one of our momentum to roll 3 d20 instead of 2.
I love that. I love that.
Focus of composure.
Ooh, that gains you 2 momentum back. Very, very nice, Commander Ajay. Very, very nice, Commander Ajay. What do you say? Are you just staring back, or are you going to say anything with this presence command check?
I was trying to find a Bajoran prayer and I can't find one.
Make one up. Think on your feet. I love it.
Yeah. The prophets outstretch their hand. The prophets open their eye, and I walk before it. And you do not scare me.
The creature recoils. Your words seem to carry with them almost a kind of physical blow. And you watch as the creature recoils back. As it recoils back, the room once again is filled with a kind of white light that you see on the screen before you. And a few seconds later, it recoils back into the tiny black box that you see before you on the floor, on the ground of this room. And the box lies there completely and utterly inert.
All right. So now how do I get out of here? And she's
Commander
gonna look
Ajay,
around
tink,
again.
tink, tink, tink. Commander Ajay, can you hear me? Tink, 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 tink.
Yes? Hello?
Holy shit, it's working. Commander Ajay, this is Ensign. Why am I forgetting my name? Moran, that's the one. Yeah, Ensign Moran. You are in the cloaking device, but I'm gonna get you out, I think. Do you have your comm badge on you? Well, of course you do. I'm talking to you on it. Damn it. God, I am so bad at this. And he says, could you, there's like a center point in the room. I don't know. Is it like a room? Where are you?
I guess you could call it a room. I see the point you're referring to.
Yeah, could you stand just 3 feet to the right? Kind of at like an angle? He's telling you to stand right where the black box is.
No, because I don't want to touch the thing that's there.
Oh. Cool. Right. All right. Well, we will figure this out then. And he will end communication. But he will we're going to go over to the ensign, Zed, Lieutenant Paris, and the captain, who arrives with I'm assuming, one of the nice little Type 3s. I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got Type 3. He's got like a rifle. I love it. All right, so we arrive there on the deck, and because I'm a
Paris
noob...
is
I completely forgot that I did make new tokens for everybody. So let me grab your new tokens and drag them on the map.
Paris is probably trying to get the captain to stand down at that point. Like, Captain, you know that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. Grief, it might hurt, but the knowledge of what you're about to do will stay with you forever, and that is far worse.
So Captain
And as
arrives.
Pa-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say, as Paris is talking to the captain, Zed's hoping that Paris is distracting her enough, and Zed is kind of moving a little bit closer to that cocoon.
I love it. So you're like creeping,
yeah.
trying to get close to the door.
Yeah,
into
but
the cocoon.
trying to get closer yet, but not, but without the captain noticing it as much.
She's very focused on Paris. Paris, I'd like you to give a presence
Right.
and command with a difficulty of, well, normally difficulty of 4 because she's pretty committed to this. And I'm going to spend some threat to make it a difficulty 5. The mysterious difficulty 5.
All right. Can I use improvisation as my
You
focus?
absolutely can. You are talking out of your booty hole, but I like it.
I am totally talking about out of my booty hole, and I'm gonna steal 3 momentum because that's all I got.
I love it.
Uh,
Do you have veteran?
no, I'm a lieutenant.
Roll
junior
your.
officer.
Oh, you don't have it. Dang it! So you can't get your termination back. Shoot. Okay.
But I wouldn't have a value that really goes with that situation. It's more like
You can,
just
as an FYI, you can challenge a value. So you would delete that value, it would give you a determination, and at the end of the session, you would have to replace that value with something else. If you feel there's something that you might challenge in this moment.
not really.
That's totally
There's
fine.
nothing,
Then just roll
there's
with it, my
nothing
dude.
that
Just roll
that
with it.
really.
What happened to the other characters?
I think I deleted them when I deleted the I think I deleted them when I deleted the momentum.
You did.
It was an accident.
That's totally fine. Lieutenant Paris and Ensign Zed disappear. GG noobs. All right.
All right, here goes.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
That hurts.
Oh, that
That
hurts
was not
so
the
bad.
intention.
That hurts so bad. So let's roll with it though. What do you say to her?
I was trying to be like Starfleet as fuck and say, needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. Don't let your grief overwhelm you. Think about the consequences of your action. You'll be living with all that new grief, stuff like that. But very jumbling over his words because he's like super nervous. He's not used to being this.
Consequences? Paris, I have calculated the consequences more times than I can remember. This is just the final attempt to finally get it right. But as I said, you've been creeping along the wall.
I have a question. As she's standing there, what does it look like her plan is? Does she have some kind of device that she's going to do with the cocoon?
As you've gotten
or...
closer to it, you can hear what sounds like, you guessed it, a heartbeat from inside the cocoon.
But she doesn't have any equipment or anything like that.
Nope, just has her left hand on the cocoon as though it's like an egg. It's like a little baby egg. She wants to protect it.
Zed is he's gonna look conflicted for a moment, but then he's gonna step forward with the Betazoid sword and hold it above the cocoon as if he's gonna stab down into it.
So here's what we're going to do. I want to see if Zed was sneaky enough to creep around. Because you remember, there was a bunch of these little like vines and tentacles inside of the captain's quarters. Now, what I failed to mention, which is important, all of those vines have coalesced onto this cocoon. All right? So all of them are there. It's writhing. It's wriggling. It seems to almost be pulsing, kind of like it itself has a heartbeat. And I'd like you to make a fitness and security difficulty of 2 check. Because I'm going to allow Lieutenant Paris's, it would have been a 3, but I'm going to allow Lieutenant Paris's conversation, though he failed, he succeeded through failure because he's distracting her, which makes your check easier. Oh
God!
no!
Oh,
Oh God!
Well, that
That's
hurts.
so bad.
That
Well,
hurts.
here's
Oh,
what happens,
God.
Zed. You
Double
go to raise
20,
your
bro.
sword, Ensign said, and with a flash that you do not expect, she draws her phaser and fires it at you, striking you square in the chest. And there is a ka-ch noise. There is a bright flash of light, and Ensign Zed crumples into the corner right by the kind of little like desk area right here on the ground. And Ensign Zed, you are currently out of the scene for the time being. You're not dead. I will tell you that much. You're not dead, but you are knocked out. And she turns back, phaser pointing, as the captain, I think is thematic, rounds the corner with his Type 3. Lieutenant Paris probably screams, "No!" And she points at you and she says, "Stand down. Stand down."
At which point, Traso levels his phaser and says, "This is my ship. You stand down. You're in my quarters."
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop into a little bit of combat here. And in combat, the players always get to go first. Captain Traso, you get the impression she's not going to stand down. You don't need to be a telepath if you still had your abilities to know that she is going to shoot. She is committed. Her face says this is the only option. And as you think about that, we're actually going to go back over to the bridge. We're going to go back over to the bridge. Because we're in combat for there, but Lieutenant Commander Karev, you are on the bridge. You're likely, I'm assuming, maybe helping with getting some repairs done, trying to coordinate.
Yeah, coordinating
going on. Okay.
the damage control and all of that.
Yeah. And as you are coordinating all of that, you see the view screen. You've seen the kind of vastness of space out there, but there is something outside. And you know there's something outside because something bumps into the ship. It's like if you've ever been on a boat and like a log hits you, or maybe a manatee. I don't know. Don't go boating around manatees. They're an endangered species. But you feel a kind of like a bump. And as you look out, I'm going to actually pivot you over to a different screen here. Just give me one moment. You are going to see a strange and fantastical looking thing. It appears to be a massive, almost dragon-like energy that is outside. And as you look around, you realize that this space that I described to you, you could see all these stars. This appears to have been the stars that you saw around you have now all coalesced into whatever this being is. And you see up at the kind of top here, it appears to like almost have a mouth. It almost looks like it has horns. Its back, I would describe it as looking almost as though it is a massive nebula dragon. The best way to describe it. And it appears to be bearing down, not with an intent to attack, but out of curiosity. It is bearing down upon the Ragnar, and it gets kind of eye level where you see it has eyes, and its eyes are literally, if you've seen those new images from NASA, I love all those images that came out from NASA. They've just been inspiring me lately.
Yeah, it's so good.
It looks like those images as though it is just galaxies in its eyes. And it's just staring through the viewport into the bridge.
Just what we needed. He looks back to I guess tactical. Do we have any idea what the hell this thing is?
It appears to be a nebula, sir, but nebulas don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I've been in nebulas. Options? He looks around like completely like anybody you have any ideas?
Minerva says, "Prayer, sir."
Good initiative. Maybe you do that. Anyone else? It can't hurt. No dumb ideas here.
We have okay, thanks for the raid. And she starts praying. The Cation officer says, "Sir, we could reroute the remaining gravitational. Sir, we could just take all of our remaining power, and put it into phasers if we really wanted to, but that might end all of,
us.
yeah.
I mean, again, good initiative. Again, no dumb ideas, but that one will die. We'll just all die.
Probably.
I guess hailing frequencies.
Sir, broadband channel open, sir.
This is Lieutenant Commander Krev of the Federation starship Ragnar. To the weird nebula galaxy dragon creature in front of us. Oh, please tell me you can talk to us. That would make my life so much easier.
There is static over the comm channel for a few moments. And then you hear actually a pretty calming and a very relaxed voice. I can speak, and I can be understood. You are not where you are supposed to be.
Yeah, we don't want to be here either. Do you think you could help us get back to where we're supposed to be?
There is almost, you can hear what sounds like a smile in this response. The nebula part of its face that appears to be a kind of like a giant maw, like a draconic maw. It almost looks like it smiles. Yes, I can send you precisely where you need to be.
Well, that would be awesome.
The draconic-like wings start to envelop the Ragnar, and as they envelop the Ragnar, you watch as, one of the engineers on the bridge says, "Sir, we're getting a power spike here. It's returning. Sir, standard power is returning to the Ragnar. I can't quite explain it, but it seems like...
We don't have a warp core.
Yeah, that's a thing. And you watch as this massive draconic-like creature seems to envelop the Ragnar, and almost seems to be blending and kind of merging with the Ragnar for a few in this moment. And all of the ship systems are starting to return to full power. Life support's up, weapon systems return. Everything seems to be returning to where it was supposed to be. And that voice once again comes over. Just a few moments now. And then we begin the end. And I think that's a great moment to pivot back on over to... I'd like to go back to the captain. We're going to go back to the captain, Lieutenant Paris. And, you're in a pickle. We're in combat. Captain, you can tell she's committed. What do you do?
I rounded the corner and she's not caressing the egg anymore, right?
No, she has her phaser out, and you can tell. You watched as she shot Ensign Zed, downed him.
But I don't know that I have seen her be caressing that egg, so I don't know that that's the focus of her.
No, not in this moment. You may have heard something about an egg, but I'll leave that up to you, Brian.
I did say there was a cocoon.
There is a cocoon, yes.
So...
If we're in combat, and I just watched her gun down one of my officers. I think I shoot her.
Yes! Do it! That will be fitness security, difficulty of 2. Now here's the real
Yep.
question. What is the setting?
I mean, I'd have to give you threat to make it. It's stun. Obviously, it's
So,
stun.
okay, perfect.
I will say, Tracer will say, Captain, you should know better than this. We could work together, but you've just gunned down one of my officers, and then he fires.
You shouldn't have been in my... Here we go.
Composure as a focus?
You know what? Yes, go for it. I love it. The drama. Ah!
I'm going to spend the momentum to get a 3rd dice.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh! That is a success with a complication. Do you have an ability to reroll?
Nope, we didn't use command.
This is absolutely, utterly brilliant. And I just want to say, Captain Treso, thank you for being the captain. Not that we need, but that we deserve. I love it. Absolutely love it. So here's how this plays out. Lieutenant Paris, you see the captain around the corner. You've just watched your, I guess, not contractually obligated best friend, but, trial best friend get blasted, slump into the corner. You watch as Eva Cole, the red-haired captain, has raised her phaser. It looks to be ready to fire at you next, but from just around your shoulder, just over your shoulder, you hear the captain say to her, "You should have shot my officer." Some quippy line. What's your quippy line, Captain? What's a quippy line? I need a good quippy line from you. Get off my ship. I don't know.
Stay away from my ensign, you bitch.
Sure. Whatever it is. I love it. That's great. So
I like that kid.
You fire your phaser. It strikes her in the shoulder. As it strikes her in the shoulder, it pivots her around. Her phaser goes off, cutting into the cocoon. The cocoon splits, and from inside you see this viscous white and blue, almost like a yin and a yang coloring of liquid just start to pour out. She screams no as she collapses to the ground, falling unconscious. A moment later, from the cocoon, you watch as a blue-skinned fist punches out.
Ah, shit.
Then another blue-skinned fist, and the cocoon splits open, collapsing onto his knees, kind of Terminator style. You watch as none other than a certain Andorian, who claims that this was his ship, rises to his feet. He's completely naked, but he looks, you know how he's had that like blue kind of flaky like skin? It looks like that kind of blue flaky skin has become almost solid, almost as though it is made of like glass or some sort of like diamond. As he opens his eyes, you see that one of them is white, one of them is blue. Commander Ajay, from inside of the room you're in, watches that black box starts to shake again, and that creature, that voice from inside says, "No, no, not like this." The box shakes for a moment, then stops shaking and goes inert. From down on the engineering, Lieutenant Commander Krev, you get a call from a Lieutenant Bronson. She sounds like herself again, and she says, Lieutenant Commander, what the hell's going on?
Bronson, are you okay?
Did I punch you?
A little bit. You seem to be yourself again. What? Are you okay?
My head hurts, and there's like a black ichor on my... I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that'll happen. What's going on with the engines?
Well, sir, there's a warp core here, but it doesn't look like a normal warp core. It kind of looks like a purple...
Like a dragon?
Yeah, that's the one.
Great. Stand by. He looks up at the back up to the view screen. So you're gonna be our engines now?
At least until I'm no longer required. and you watch as the dragon appears to like fold up and over the black plating of the Ragnar. You see that all of the ship systems have returned to full power. And as you look out, you see that you are now in this black void of space. But from somewhere, maybe a few hundred kilometers away, you see this tiny pinprick of light. Kind of looks like it might be a wormhole.
I swear, if that wormhole turns into a tree, I quit.
Sir, we have full power to engines, to life support, to weapons, to everything. Sir, we're back up and running.
Is there anything else around us?
Nothing, sir. We are in... There's nothing.
Captain's gonna kill me. Set course for the wormhole.
Aye, aye, sir. Maximum impulse. Boom! You guys head off. Back in the captain's quarters. We watch as this Blue Andorian. He looks pretty tough right now. And he looks down at his hands. Looks over at Ensign Zed, looks over at the good captain, Eva Cole, looks over at the captain, Treso, over to Lieutenant Paris. And in a kind of echoey kind of voice, he says, "Not the form I would have chosen, but it will do. I'll be seeing you, Captain." And there is that almost kind of hue-like womb. And he disappears into not a white kind of sparkle of light, but a black kind of sparkle of light. Leaving you all to do whatever it is you'd like to do in this moment.
Rush over to Zed.
He's injured. He's hurt. Real bad. But he's alive. And he's stable.
I got you, buddy. I got you.
Commander Ajay.
Seeing that Zed is all taken care of, the captain will pull the Captain Cole, presumably, out of the water so that she's not going to drown.
She's unconscious. She's been knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
But Commander Ajay, you are just inside of this device. I'd like to pivot back over to you for a brief moment. And you hear the ensign outside. He says, "Commander, I've got a lock on you. Just let me know when you're ready to beam."
I'm ready when you are, Ensign.
And my question to you, Commander Ajay, is are you going to leave the black box inside of there? Or are you going to take it with you?
She doesn't want to... I
Then
don't want
don't.
to touch it. I saw a
Then don't.
paw wraith come out of it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Leave it there. It's totally fine. Nothing bad will happen.
Take it. Take it. She doesn't want to be there.
Don't do it.
I saw a paw wraith come out of it.
You may or may not have seen a paw wraith come out of it. Just let me know if you're taking it or if you're leaving it. That's all I need to know.
Ensign, do you have a lock on the other life form in here?
Ma'am, there's only one life form. Just you.
Then she's not gonna, yeah. When you're ready, Ensign.
And
I am not taking the box.
I love you for that. Thank you. That's beautiful. You're beamed out right next to the ensign. You find yourselves standing outside of the cloaking device. Power appears to be flowing to the cloaking device as normal. There are no issues. And the ensign looks happy, but a little surprised to see you. And as you pop in there, we actually do have your brand new token, which I'm going to grab. I want to let everyone see the brand new cool tokens that we have. And he says, "Holy crap, that worked! Commander, are you all right? Do you need water? Everything's back and working. Systems seem to have returned to full power, so yay."
No, I'm fine, Ensign. I should get to sick bay. I'm sure there's plenty of people who need me.
Your comm badge starts chirping like a mother effer. People are looking for you.
This is Ajay. I'm on my way to sick bay.
We've got wounded. So many wounded. And we're going to go back on over to Captain Treso. I want to give you guys just a brief moment to really just have your moment. And Ensign Zed, you're going to regain consciousness here. I think that would be thematically appropriate. You hurt, but you're gonna regain consciousness.
You're
Yes.
in Lieutenant Paris's arms, by the way.
Here, look at me, sir. He said,
You're okay, buddy. I put you down.
did,
You okay? You can stand.
did we win?
I point to the captain holding the other captain.
And you saved me, Lieutenant Paris.
Can't let my best buddy go down.
Thank you. This must mean that our friendship contract is official.
You betcha.
I love that. Captain, do you have anything to add to this scene? I think that is Chef's Kiss perfection.
Captain is just looking around his quarters like this is going to take so much cleaning.
So much cleaning. And as we watch you guys all settling in, we go back to the bridge where the wormhole gets closer and closer and closer. And you are seconds away from entering it. The pilot, who is currently controlling the ship, looks back over his shoulder at Lieutenant Commander Karev and asks, Lieutenant Commander, are you sure about this?
No. Do one more scan. Does it look safe?
It appears to be normal space on the other side, sir.
Krev to Traso.
Tracer here.
A magic space dragon, I think it's Jormungandr, has given us full power and replaced our engines with its purple space dragoniness. Look, don't ask. And given us a wormhole out of where we're at. I'm gonna take us through unless you say no.
What?
You heard me.
You have the bridge, Lieutenant Commander.
All right. It's on you then. He signs out. You're the captain. Let's go.
Did he just say space dragon?
Yeah, I don't. He took a. He's wounded. He's got a broken arm. I don't know. He must be.
And as you guys have that moment, go ahead, please.
Hopefully, the officers up there will keep him in line.
We watch as the Ragnar enters into the wormhole. As far as wormhole travel goes, it is pretty smooth. As you emerge, you start to get readings, and you find that you are precisely where you had left. You are right back to where the Chronos station is supposed to be. But there's no station, there's no debris. But yeah, you're right back where you were supposed to be.
Brev wins.
You see the orange of the Shackleton Expanse. What do you guys want to do?
Oh god, time investigation gonna have a field day.
I'm gonna thank the dragon creature if it's still on my comms.
It's not.
Do we still have power?
You do.
Cool. Thank you, Jormungandr, for this blessing. Apparently, I now follow the Norse pantheon of human religions. I don't like it, but that's where we're at. Krev to Traso.
Tracer here. How'd that magic space portal work out?
Space portal worked great. Jormungandr has taken us through, I don't know, Yggdrasil or I don't know. We're back in the Shackleton, right where Chronos Station was. The station's gone, but we're here, and the magic space dragon is still acting like our warp core. Where did the warp core go, by the way? You never answered that.
Oh, I blew it up to keep us out of the event horizon of the wormhole.
The one that we got sucked into and pulled into that other place that we were in?
No, No, we didn't get sucked into that wormhole. We escaped it by blowing up the warp core.
Oh. Well, I've saved us from not having a warp core by making a pact with the Nebula space dragon. You're welcome. And he signs off.
Just as he signs out, he hears, "This is the best ship ever."
So, one thing that I failed to mention, and I do apologize because it's a key piece of information. As the blue Andorian with the kind of crystal-like skin vanished in that kind of Q-like whoop, but it was black instead of white, so too did Eva Cole. He took her with him. That was the thing I failed to mention, just FYI. So I apologize. That was a key piece of information. I just realized I was thinking, like, did I say the thing? I was like, I didn't. But hey, I love complications. It makes me happy. So
Okay.
I think this would be a good moment. At some point, I'm going to assume y'all would have a meeting in the conference room about all the shit that just went down. So
Yeah.
I'd like us to flash forward a little bit. Medical, you've been able to treat wounds, no loss of actual life, just a lot of bumps and scrapes and concussions. Ensign Zed, you are healed up. You've got a cracked rib, but you're feeling okay. Lieutenant Commander Krev, you get your arm fixed. Lieutenant Paris, you didn't take any damage, so you're feeling dandy as can be. And you distracted a lady, which was good. But we're gonna pivot over to the conference room of the Ragnar. And I just want to let I let our last scene be of you all breaking down everything that's just transpired. And I'm going to leave it all to you guys.
We have set course back to Starbase 110 or whatever, 123 or whatever.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Good.
Because I'm not looking at gift warp core in the mouth. We're going to end straight a gift dragon warp core.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't explain it.
All right, so let me get this straight. There was a space dragon, and it merged with the ship, and that's how we have a warp core now.
You said it was made
Yeah,
of a nebula and had.
It was pretty cool.
Damn it, I missed it.
I'm choosing to call him Jormungandr. That was the Norse world dragon.
Mm-hmm.
You know the dragon serpent that the Vikings, the Ragnar himself would have worshipped.
Excellent. That's good to know. Doctor, I happen to know you were inside our cloaking device.
Yes, apparently, and there's definitely something living in there.
I thought Moran told me that he lost that second life sign.
Yes, but there was something. My medical tricorder picked up a heartbeat, a life form of some kind.
Did everybody else hear a heartbeat? Like,
Yes, that was the
Yeah.
heartbeat of the being that was inside
Totally
The
heard the heartbeat. Yeah.
the cloaking device. That was that being's heartbeat.
Has anybody tracked down Locke?
He wasn't one of the people I tended to in Med Bay. I haven't seen him.
Security, did you check in?
Oh, yep, he's been in his quarters.
All right.
So, did Captain Cole, was she successful? Is that what she wished to do, to bring the Andorian out of the cocoon?
I am so confused by that.
I mean, she certainly
No.
didn't sacrifice our lives, which seemed to be her goal.
I thought she wanted to save her son, but then the cocoon was. I'm so confused, Captain.
Sometimes the motivations of others aren't what they say they are.
But she kept saying a mother's love. Was she sacrificing him for Locke? Is that what the cocoon was? Then what did we release?
What exactly did you see happen? Tell me again, please.
When he exited the cocoon from being severed, he had one glowing white eye, one glowing black eye, with, I don't know, just energy emitting, I guess. And it almost looked like his skin was like glass. And then he told us he would see us again, and then he disappeared. Like, remember the stories from way back when, from the Enterprise?
And
Q?
did you say he looked like Commander DeBob?
It was Commander DeBob, as far as I know.
Except that his eyes... The being I met in the cloaking device had glowing white eyes. And Lieutenant Commander Krev said that whatever possessed Bronson had glowing black eyes.
Yes, black eyes.
We lost your camera
And
there,
that-
by the way. I don't know if that was intentional.
I know, I'm moving.
Okay, no worries.
The captain kept saying a life for a life.
Yes, the being with white eyes mentioned that as well.
Well-
It sounds as if Commander DeBob was possibly possessed by two separate beings.
It's very confusing.
Paw-wraith possession isn't unheard of if these creatures are similar to that.
And what about
That-
Chrono Station? Did it completely vanish?
Sensors
Yeah,
can't
we
even
have-
detect any,
We have no trace of it.
no debris, no nothing.
My guess is that with all that happened, we probably reset our timeline to the best of my understanding.
Are you positing that we existed outside of time for the time
No,
before
I
we met the dragon?
I think we were another time when we met the dragon. I think the moment we first picked up Young Luck and the commander, we might have been in a different timeline.
That's quite the supposition, Lieutenant. Do you have any evidence to back that up?
The fact that the admiral no longer existed, that we had records of a non-existent ship. This is all purely speculation, Captain. This is just my best interpretation. I'm no quantum expert, but with the amount of, if I had to guess, Captain, the admiral probably captured the Paw-wraith, forced them to become the cloak, sent us there on that specific mission to trigger exactly what happened, to coincide with what his wife did in the past, so that they could get their son back somehow by making a deal with that entity. But I guess there was another one that didn't want to make the deal. That is as much as I can.
Well, if there's one thing I know about time travel shenanigans, it's they never come back and bite you in the ass later.
Oh no, temporal affairs will
Certainly
love us
not.
for the next year.
Lieutenant Shear to the captain.
Traso here.
We seem to have a problem, sir. We're within hailing range of Starbase 123, but they're claiming they have no record of us.
Of course they don't.
All right, everybody. Dismissed. Let's go deal with this.
And as we watch as the command crew heads off to the bridge, we zoom out of the Ragnar. We zoom up and away from it, and we zoom into a starbase. And we see a couple of Federation officers. They're not wearing the same uniforms that we're wearing. They're wearing uniforms from maybe about 30, 40, maybe 30 years ago. A little different. Maybe the time of the Dominion War. I don't know. It's possible. And one looks to the other and says, Ragnar? There's no ship called the Ragnar. What the hell is going on? And that, my friends, is where we're going to end Season 1 of Star Trek Valhalla. Thank you, everybody, for playing. That was absolutely fantastic. You guys did a great job. You did a great job. Absolutely bloody.
Very fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, what'd you guys think? We got through a season. We did it!
Yes.
We
yes.
got through a
Woo!
season!
Yay.
We did it. It's great. It's wonderful.
Very exciting.
Wonderful. Very wonderful. Yeah. Symbol, I gotta tell you, man. Love. You're putting the pieces together, my dude. You did a great job. You're really putting the pieces together. I thought you did great. As a science officer, I thought you did great. Lieutenant Commander Krev, you made a deal with the space dragon. Commander
That was
Ajay, you
Jorman
didn't sell
Gunder.
your soul. Ensign Zed, God, you're the heart of this group.
Oh,
You are the heart of this group.
100%.
And
100%.
Captain Traso, a badass as always. That complication on that attack just was like, yes, I need this. I need this so bad. I was going to lean into it. It was so perfect. So I could be like, and her phaser cuts open the egg. Boom. Let's go. So absolutely fantastic. And any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before
Yes,
we
How long are we
When-
taking
close
off?
this?
yeah. When can we start season 2?
Great questions. Thank
Tomorrow?
you so much, Ensign Zed, for asking. I'm very excited to get season 2 started. I am going to request from the group that we are going to take 2 weeks off. So we would be returning the week of, let me pull up my calendar. We would
August 9th.
return the 9th of August. So we would have next week off, the following week off, mainly because as a game master and as a human being, I honestly just kind of want a little bit of a break. I just need to take a little bit of a break. I got a couple of other games that I'm getting close to wrapping up. So I want to just pour my heart and soul into those games. And then I'm going to need a little bit of time. I have storyboarded out what I'd like to see happen in season 2 for y'all, the issues, the problems you're going to run into. But I want a little bit more time just to make sure that I have the meta plot really solid of what what we've got going on, so that I can give you guys a similar experience as to what we've experienced during season 1, which seems like everyone wants to come back for season 2. So I'm assuming it was good. And I just got to tell, I love this crew. You guys have done wonderful. It's been an amazing ride. Just everything was super fun. Commander Ajay, you are a stone cold, gosh darn tootin' badass. And I love that. Now, here's what's really cool. We've ended a season. You guys are going to get a major milestone. So in Star Trek Adventures, there's not really leveling up, but you get milestones. So I'm going to give you both a major and I believe it's called a minor milestone. My memory is a little fuzzy. But it's going to give you an opportunity. You'll have to look it up in the book. We'll go over it off stream, but you guys get a chance to up a stat or a skill, change out add an additional focus. There's take a new trait. There's lots of different things you can do. I'm also going to give the same thing to the Ragnar. So if you want to increase something on the Ragnar, thematically it might be ship's power. You could maybe advance that. You do have apparently a god dragon as your warp core right now. We're not sure. We haven't really touched on that. We'll figure that out next season. And I think that's fantastic. So yeah, we'll get into that. But as I always say at the end of every session, I say that's a great moment to transition, to pivot over to a new scene. With that being said, there we go. I gotta say all my catchphrases. I digress. There it is. All right. And as I always say at the end of every session, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to the players for playing. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much to the viewers. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscriptions. And happy gaming, everyone. You will see these fine folks back here in 2 weeks for episode 1 of season 2 of Star Trek Valhalla. Cannot wait. Until then, live long and prosper. We'll catch you next time.